Bandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Gurganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindam Vidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktiyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavad Prem Noi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balakashelanshidam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubhadam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, The Hidden Treasure of the Sweet Absolute, with translation and commentary by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj. We're in chapter 6, Dhyana-yoga, the path of meditation. And this is text number 20. Yatro paramate chitam nirudam yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyan atmani tushyati sukam atyantikam yathad buddhigrayam atindriyam veniyatra na chaivayam stitas chalati tatvata yam labdva chaparam labam manyate narikam tata yasmin stitona dukena gurunapi vichalyate tam vidya dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga samgitam sa nischayena yoktavyo yogo nirvina chetasa. The mind controlled by yoga practice is tranquil, pacified by detachment from mundane association. The yogi remains satisfied in the Lord alone, directly seeing the supersoul through his purified consciousness. In his spiritual enlightenment, he tastes transcendental eternal bliss. He never deviates from the reality. He considers that there is no greater gain in this world. He is undisturbed by even the worst suffering. Know that the attainments of such a state in which all association with unhappiness is severed is called yoga. Yoga must be practiced with perseverance and a heart that is never discouraged. So in the, I believe it's the Bhakti Shubhodaya, there's description, a verse which pertains to Dhruva Maharaj. Now Dhruva, when he understood that he wasn't favored by the king and his elder brother was favored, then he became discouraged because the king had different wives, and the wife of his brother, who the king was very attached to that wife, she was very jealous of anyone except her son, so she didn't even allow Dhruva to sit on the lap of his father. And Dhruva is a Kshatriya, so he felt very disturbed. So he went to his mother. Maybe his mother's name is Suniti. Then he told her that what can I do? He has Kshatriya blood. He felt insulted. So he said, what can I do? And she said, I can't do anything. Only the Lord can help you. So he said, where's the Lord? And she said, the sages look for him in the forest. So he went to the forest, and when he's there, he's engaging in meditation. But then he needed help. So Narad Muni came and said, you're a young boy. The forest is dangerous. You shouldn't be here. You should go home. And then Dhruva was very determined. He said, well, if you can help me, please help me. Otherwise, I'll continue on my own. So Narad Muni helped him, and Dhruva engaged in meditation. And as it's mentioned here, he's meditating on the super soul. And one time when he's engaged in meditation, in his mind's eye, he's seeing the super soul present, but then the super soul disappeared and his meditation broke. And when he opened his eyes, then he saw Lord Vishnu standing before him. And so then Lord Vishnu says, you're looking for me. I know you have some purpose in mind. What is it? So the verse that's in the Hari Bhakti Shubhodaya is very nice. Dhruva Maharaj said, before I was searching for pieces of broken glass in the dust. Now that I have found you, I have found the most valuable jewel. I don't want anything else. So that's what's being described in this verse. The person who actually comes to that level of understanding will understand that nothing is of any value in comparison to the Supreme Lord, nothing that we can gain. And Prahlad Maharaj, he also is very fixed up in Shantaras, and he also commented when the Shringadev asked him to take some benediction, and Prahlad Maharaj said, I am not a merchant. I am not worshiping you to take some benediction. He said, I saw my father had all power and all facilities. He had all benedictions, which he got from Lord Brahma, but in just a movement of your eyebrow, that all disappeared. So he said, I'm not a merchant. Then this is the mood of the actual true practitioner, the true devotee, we'll say, because it's talking of here yoga, and Dhyana-yoga, meditation. Dhruva was meditating, but really what's being talked about, the point of success of yoga is to enter into a personal relationship with the Lord. And when one does so, one won't pursue any kind of, desires relating to, some gain from this material world. The mind controlled by yoga practice is tranquil, pacified by detachment from mundane association. The yogi remains satisfied in the Lord alone, directly seeing the supersoul through his purified consciousness. In his spiritual enlightenment, he tastes transcendental eternal bliss. He never deviates from the reality. He considers that there is no greater gain in this world. He is undisturbed by even the worst suffering. Know that the attainment of such a state in which all association with unhappiness is severed is called yoga. Yoga must be practiced with perseverance in a heart that is never discouraged. And I remember Govinda Maharaj told me, he said, I am never hopeless. I am always hopeful. That's what he commented. Sometimes somebody may think, or I may even think that, oh, I'm in this world and I'm trying to practice devotion, and yet I exhibit so many material attachments in my day-to-day life. But I like to think that those attachments, maybe I don't believe I'm fooling myself, but I like to think that those attachments are very superficial. If the whole world was in flame, I wouldn't be concerned about any of those attachments. I wouldn't be concerned about where's my where's my computer, where's my iPhone, or where's my car, or anything. I would just say, let them burn. Let them burn. I don't care. If I'm on a plane and I'm to get out of the plane, I won't try to grab anything. Anyway, that, of course, anybody could say, well, if I'm on a plane and I have to get out of the plane, I'm not going to grab anything either. I'm just going to get out. Well, that's true. But I'm saying that a lot of these attachments that people think they have, they're superficial. The real attachments we've heard is the attachments for kanik, kamani, and pratishtha. Those are the real attachments. Kanik is for wealth, and kamani is for enjoyment, usually expressed through man and woman, that enjoyment. And pratishtha is for fame. So those are the real attachments. Somebody even may be attached to some bad habits, like intoxication. But we heard Srila Sridhar Maharaj talk that these are not very strong attachments, even intoxication, even so-called addiction. It's not so strong compared to the conditioned soul's attachment for kanik, kamani, and pratishtha. That is very hard to break. And 24. Sankalpa prabhavan kamams chaktva sarvan aseshata manasaivendriya gramam viniyamya samantata. To practice yoga, one must abandon all thoughts that give rise to desires, and using the mind withdraw the senses from all material objects. To practice yoga, one must abandon all thoughts that give rise to desires, and using the mind withdraw the senses from all material objects. So that's practicing of yoga, and we could say, okay, that calls to mind the turtle or the tortoise that can withdraw all its limbs into the shell and take refuge there. It's kind of like more like hiding. But to practice yoga, one must abandon all thoughts that give rise to desires, and using the mind withdraw the senses from all material objects. So if you can do that, maybe someone can do that, but our formula is that we are trying to engage ourselves always in the service of the Lord, and we're not trying to disengage ourselves from utilizing our senses in the service of the Lord. So there's a difference. We're not trying to just, on the basis of our own strength, control the senses, although, someone has to be able to control his mind and senses to be able to engage the mind and senses in the service of the Lord. That will require some self-control. But our process is more, and instead of necessarily trying to achieve all these goals on the basis of our own internal strength, which is also admirable if someone has that kind of level of self-control, but still our concern will be that the mercy will come to us through the mercy of Gurudev and the Vaishnavas and the saints. Because if you look at the process of yoga, you're supposed to do so many things to attain a level of perfection in yoga. But we see that what will happen if someone dies very quickly in a very violent way, like a plane crash or something like that, may not have time to really attain any level of yoga practice. But we like to consider that, as we've heard, that even if the devotee, due to some external circumstance, cannot remember the Lord will remember his devotees. So, and Srila Maharaj expressed that when Goswami Maharaj had presented the book, Search for Sri Krishna, then, and that deals, in that book it says in the beginning, it deals with a Tato Brahma Jigyasa, the search for Brahman, and everything like that. And ultimately, beyond even the search for Brahman, everyone's searching for rasa, for a relationship, happiness. And the highest form of happiness will come, or love even, and that will come in a relationship with the Lord. But then Guru Maharaj, when the book was presented to him, the search for Sri Krishna, reality of the beautiful, and Srila Maharaj said, this is only half. The other half will be the Lord's loving search for his lost servant. So it's happening from both sides. It's happening from our side, but there will be some search from the Lord's side. Some help will be coming from that divine plane down to us. That is our consideration. Shanai Shanar Uparamed Budya Driti Grihitaya Atma Samstamana Kritva Nakinchid Abhi Chintayet. By studying the intelligence, one should gradually still the mind and focus it within the self alone. By studying the intelligence, one should gradually still the mind and focus it within the self alone. Now, we have heard and read in the Bhagavad Gita that this is not always so, because elsewhere, a little further on, I'm skipping ahead, but I'll get there also. Arjuna said, "O Madhusudana, because of the fickle nature of the mind, I cannot conceive how one can maintain the equilibrium in yoga that you have described." Bingo. It's like, yes. But we're seeing it also from the other side, and that's what Krishna will be talking about. That it's not just on the basis of one's own strength that one will attain this level of self-control, but that we're ultimately utilizing the senses and the mind in the service of the Lord. So we'll be getting, we'll see it also from the angle of what comes down from above, not just from what is rising on the basis of one's internal practice. By studying the intelligence, one should gradually still the mind and focus it within the self alone. And we see sometimes that level of concentration will come to one when we're engaged in, especially you can see it sometimes in kirtan. There are many people that are joining in kirtan, and no external thoughts are coming in. You're just absorbed in the happiness of chanting the Lord's holy name, and everyone's dancing and singing, and one has no time to, at that time, generally speaking, we see that one has no time to be thinking about something else. One is absorbed in the kirtan. Yato nischalati manas chanchalam astiram tatas tato niyamyaitad atmani eva vashamnayet. The wavering and unsteady mind should be brought back from whatever mundane objects it pursues and be held within the self alone. The wavering and unsteady mind should be brought back from whatever mundane objects it pursues and be held within the self alone. Then I think of this in relationship with the Lord. Although it's very high, but Srimati Radharani says that, my mind is trying to control all my senses, but one sense smells the fragrance of Krishna and becomes attracted to that, and another is enchanted by, the beauty of the Lord, and another sense is hearing the sweet words of the Lord, or we could say also hearing the holy name, and then there's the touch. And she goes like this and says they're all like horses that are all they're meeting up with their objects, but in this case it's Krishna. His smell, his taste, his form, his smell, taste, and the visual, the form of the Lord, and the touch of the Lord, and the hearing relating with the Lord, or even can be just, something like the tinkling of his ankle bells or something. This is what Radharani is very poetically expressing, and she says, then they are like horses that are pulling in all different directions, and how can my mind survive? How can my mind survive with these horses all wanting to gallop in different directions? So we can say, yes, there's that. It's very figurative, but then we understand that what it means to be attracted by the beauty and the form and the sound of the holy names and all this, that will enable one to withdraw. The mind will not be engaged then in mundane objectives, but will be absorbed in the relationship of the soul with the Lord, because we're always saying these Atma and Paramatma. The Lord, the soul itself, the soul is within our heart, but there's also the presence of the Lord, his expansion. The yogis, they're meditating on that, as we heard. This chapter is about meditation, so the yogis are attaining that level of meditation, of constantly thinking of and remembering the Lord. Prashanta manasam yenam yoginam sukham uttamam upaiti shanta rajasam brahma bhutam akalmasham. The transcendental joy of self-realization comes to the yogi whose passions are quieted, who is peaceful-hearted, free from the defects of attachment, fear, and anger, and always situated in the spiritual nature. The transcendental joy of self-realization comes to the yogi whose passions are quieted, who is peaceful-hearted, free from the defects of attachment, fear, and anger, and always situated in the spiritual nature. So if the Lord's to describe Dhyana-yoga, that kind of meditation, this is how one will engage in meditation. It's not, as people will think, that meditation is just to calm a disturbed mind, that people will go for a meditational class and meditate. But I have talked to people that feel they gain something from that, from meditation. Then I've talked to people who feel they gain something from practice of, the yoga exercises. And I talk to people who feel they gain from pranayama. And all these things, yes, they undoubtedly can offer some level of bodily, improvement for one. But they're not actually really what is meant by yoga. As we've always said, real yoga is meant to establish a relationship with the Supreme, not just to be able to improve your condition materially. But we saw, for instance, we've seen even we've seen persons, even our gurus, who have done some kind of yoga in order to maintain their health. So, but what's being talked about here of spiritual attainment, we're interested in that level of spiritual realization. And if we can say this is the result of Dhyana-yoga practice, controlling the mind and meditating, we're also interested that we will see that every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is going towards the attainment of Bhakti yoga, of being able to establish a relationship with the Lord. And that has been explained to us before in the chapters when it talks about Dhyana-yoga, and how Krishna explains that even if you're active, then if you're engaged in the Lord's service, you're not being bound by the laws of karma. So there's ways in which we hear that karma yoga, jnana yoga, all these practices, they lead to the point of surrendering to the Lord. So then, Yunshan evam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasha sukena brahma samsparsham adyantam sukham ashnute. So you can understand also some things are very specific that's being described here, where it talks about sitting on a place with deerskin and kusha grass and all these other things that, when one of Mahaprabhu's, when sannyasi came to him, was it Brahmananda Bharati? I don't know. I believe so. He came dressed in deerskin. And I believe it was Govinda said, Brahmananda Bharati is here to see you. Would you like me to tell him to come here and see you? Bring him here? And Mahaprabhu said, no. Brahmananda Bharati is worshipable by me. I will go see him. And when he became in this, Mahaprabhu got an association in Brahmananda Bharati, he saw that Brahmananda Bharati was dressed in a deer skin. So Mahaprabhu said, where's Brahmananda Bharati? And he was told, right here in front of you. I don't see Brahmananda Bharati. No, he's here in front of you. And then Mahaprabhu said, surely you're mistaken, because why would Brahmananda Bharati be wearing a deer skin? And then when Mahaprabhu could understand the mind of Brahmananda Bharati, then he had called for him some sannyas clothes, and Brahmananda Bharati put them on, and then Mahaprabhu offered dandavats to Brahmananda Bharati and everything. So, but he showed that that, and yet here we hear the former about olden times, how they would sit on deer skins and all that, but Mahaprabhu didn't like the idea of Brahmananda Bharati being with the deer skin. So some things have a specific application, but I would say we're supposed to see the gist. We're supposed to, not that we're interpreting, but we're trying to see what is the meaning. Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, I'm not interested in form, I'm interested in substance. So there is really substance in every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And we also have heard there's so many thousands and thousands of translations of Bhagavad Gita. And most people don't get it right. I mean, they comment. So we're not just trying to squeeze some interpretation out of the Bhagavad Gita, but it is true. We want to understand in which direction the Bhagavad Gita is going. So I'll repeat here. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi vigata kalmasha sukhena brahma samsparsham adyantam sukham ashnute. Thus absorbed in self-realization, the clean-hearted yogi easily attains the boundless ecstasy of contacting the divine. He realizes the supersoul. Such yoga is of a devotional nature. Thus absorbed in self-realization, the clean-hearted yogi easily attains the boundless ecstasy of contacting the divine. He realizes the supersoul. Such yoga is of a devotional nature. Clean-hearted. Where Govinda Maharaj used the word Sharo Vaishnava, a simple Vaishnav. Sometimes he would use it in a very serious way to show that a devotee, or actual, we can say in this case, actual practitioner of yoga, wanting to serve the Lord. A yogi is not diplomatic. He's not a diplomat. He's not concerned of, speaking in a duplicitous way or anything like that. It's very simple. He's a Sharo Vaishnava. Then sometimes Govinda Maharaj would use it, we can say sarcastically. He would say, refer to somebody as a Sharo Vaishnava, meaning that they were easily cheated, that they weren't really aware of what was going on around them, that they might be a little bit of a, what's the word, Pollyanna nature, like thinking everything is wonderful when everything is just, everything is just clouds and ice cream or something, I don't know. Thus absorbed in self-realization, the clean-hearted yogi easily attains the boundless ecstasy of contacting the divine. He realizes the supersoul. Such yoga is of a devotional nature. So we will like to become clean-hearted and concentrating on the divine always. Yeah. Everything else is very fatiguing. It's very fatiguing to deal with this mundane world. It's very fatiguing. It's very kind of exhausting. And it's expressed like that. It says, if one can remember Mahaprabhu, then everything becomes very simple. And if one can't remember Mahaprabhu, then everything is very complicated. There's no solution. And on that level, Prahlad Maharaj said, there are many problems in this world and there are many solutions for those problems, but invariably the solution is worse than the problem itself. Now we're dealing with a crisis here, a health crisis going on all over the world. Unexpected health crisis, but it's here. Now, what will be the solution? I don't know. But we will see something positive, so I'm thinking that this will have to make us more attentive to our own inner development than maybe meeting up and dealing with the external world. Although, we still have interest in what's going on. We have interest in giving sukriti to other people. But we also have to look to our own development. I remember Akinchan Maharaj, he would always say, one has to be introspective. Everyone has to be introspective. He always was talking about that. And a good person, he's always referring to the Bhagavad Gita. But it is true, we do have to be introspective. We can't just be concerned with externals. We have to deal with this. So anyway, it's getting a little late. I'm going to stop at this point. Let's see where we are. We're on verse number 29. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Is this okay? We didn't okay. Oh, I can leave this on. I'm not going to. All right. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra
Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra
Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath
Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Nechai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan
Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan
Jao Aite Vignana Shabishta Puran
Jahawite Vignana Shavista Pura
Nechai Gosai Charmui Taradas
Jai Gosai Jai Gosai
Kasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Kasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagras
Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibhas
Charana Shri Bhakta Saneva
Janame Janame More Abhilash
Janami Janami More Abhilash
Nechai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas
Jai Gosai Jami Braje Kodava
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjayi Aman
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Manjari Aman
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas
Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kuriya
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narasana
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas
Guru Vaishnava Padma Kuriya
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamudas Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tarasara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charya Ashtatara Sada Shishimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnavas Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsi Go Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvabaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadeep Dham Ki Jai. Shri Dham Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Koladvip Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham, Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinams Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai.